welcome back to my channel. I am super excited for today's video. We are doing part 2 of my Christmas Decorate With Me. I have a bunch of ideas for you guys. If you missed part 1, last week we did the living room space minus the Christmas tree, but there are so many beautiful spaces in that living room that I loved sharing with you guys. I'll have that linked down below if you're looking for a very classic, timeless, very organic look to your Christmas decor, so I'll have that linked for you. But in today's video we are going to be doing the kitchen, dining room, the couple bathrooms that we have, and then also my bedroom, which is something that I haven't done before and I'm really excited to be doing that this year. I hope this video gives you a bunch of inspiration and gives you ideas for this year for decorating your home for Christmas and making it feel super cozy and fun for the holiday, and I just really hope you enjoy it. So make sure if you did, you give it a thumbs up and you subscribe down below for more Christmas content coming your way, and be sure to check out all of my other Christmas videos that I have done this year. We did some shopping, some decor hauls, and we also did a holiday home screen, so make sure you check out some other videos on my channel. But I believe that is everything. We're going to go ahead and get started decorating. First, we're going to be starting in the kitchen and dining room area. If you're wondering, there are going to be 2 different qualities in this video. I did use 2 different cameras, so if you're wondering, that is why. But we're going to start on the front door, and I'm going to add this wreath that I got from Hobby Lobby. I got this in a video that I posted earlier this year, and I love the frosted look of it with the pine cones, and I think it just looks really realistic and very wintry. And then to sort of tie in with the wreath that we had in the living room in our last video, I'm going to take that same ribbon and tie a little bow. I love adding this simple touch because it's very Christmassy, but it's also very easy to take off for the winter time, and it just really makes it festive. And I love this sort of velvet looking ribbon. Makes it look very rustic and very put together. It looks very intentional, and I just love the way this looks on our front door. It just looks so pretty. Next, we're going to work on this tiered tray, which is actually going to go in the middle of our dining room table as our centerpiece. I got this tiered tray from Hobby Lobby, I think a couple years ago, and I'm going to start by putting in my main sort of core pieces. I have a little house up there, a little plant, and then I have a cute little cutting board that has a snowflake on it, a merry and bright sign, and then I decided to go with a sort of village look on the top, so I added in a couple little houses. These are actually ornaments, and they work really well here. This deer is also a little ornament that's super old, I think, and I think he just looks really cute next to the sign. I'm adding in some filler with some holly and some greenery, and then I have these nuts that are still in the shell in this little mason jar, and I use this pretty much all year round. It's a really good filler and it's really neutral, so it goes with everything. Now, since this is a centerpiece, we are going to be decorating the back, so I added a little Santa ornament along with some holly to the top, and if you're seeing some movement down on the right, Tori was helping me with this, so that's what that is. Then on the bottom, I really love to use this old vintage wicker basket that I got from an estate sale. I think it's so cute. It's the perfect size for this tray, so I'm going to put that there and put little flowers in the bottom to sort of prop up my pine cones so I wouldn't have to use as many, and I basically just filled it all the way up. And I really like to style this by propping the lid on top, and it just looks really gathered. It looks very natural, very organic, which is what we're going for in this whole house. And for a little pop of red, I'm adding a few of those cranberries to the pine cones just to give it a little pop of color. And then to finish this off, we're going to add a little pitcher. I thrifted this quite a while ago from Goodwill. Goodwill is such a great place to get little things, especially for tiered trays. I just feel like you could find so many unique things, ornaments, little vessels, and it's just really fun to sort of look around and see what you can do. And then I finish off the top tier with a little yarn sort of soft star, and I just love the way that this looks. It's so festive and pretty for the holidays. All of the decorating you guys have seen me do is pretty understated, so I love to really put all of those natural elements, those fun elements of Christmas in one tray to sort of look at, and it's just very whimsical and fun. So I'm going to put that in the middle of our table along with a couple jars that we always have filled with those same nuts that were in the jar. And now I'm lighting my favorite Bath & Body Works candle, which I have since ordered a new one because we are getting quite low. It definitely has gotten a lot of love, but it's just really pretty. This is a really easy centerpiece to move when we have meals or company and we need some more room, so I love the way that turned out. Next we're moving over to our desk area. This happens to be a catch-all sort of area, so I wanted to take some of the miscellaneous decor and sort of style it next to a desk. So I had this little tree left. It's pretty old. I think I found this last year buried deep inside our little storage room in our basement, and I had a little red and green ribbon on there that I didn't want on there, so I just cut that off. Now I'm adding in a little white lantern and filling it with pine cones, and this little table that it's standing on looks like an old vintage stool, which is what I love, but it's actually an old end table from my parents' room that I found downstairs, and I thought it would be perfect to sort of redirect the decor so it's not in the drop zone. And then to finish off this group of three, I have this fun little snow globe that has a little Santa in it, and then I'm using this sign to sort of cover up that outlet, and it just has "Have yourself a merry little Christmas." And this is just sort of a hodgepodge of things that I had left over. You're gonna see that a lot in this video. I used a lot of my favorite pieces in that living room, and now I'm just sort of filling in and trying to make the rest of the house look festive with what I have. But I love the way this turned out. Right when you walk through the door, it just screams Christmas, and it's very festive. Now on to the kitchen cabinets, specifically above them. I'm adding this painting that I did in a DIY video above the sink, and then I'm adding in this light up house on the left side. I have a really fun hack that I do with this every single year. So it has a little cord that has a little turn or switch on it. So I like to hide the cord underneath the cabinet as best as I can, and I will use some painter's tape to keep it adhered. So I leave it plugged in all the time, but you can easily access that switch without having to plug it in and out. And the best part is it doesn't interfere with anything going on the counter. And then on the right side, I kept it super simple. I just added in this little candlestick and then a little brown rustic vase, and I just thought this rounded out the little area a bit and made it look more complete. Then above the stove, I'm adding this vintage pot that I made. I love this. I DIY'd this in a recent vessels video, and it's so pretty. I layered it in with another candlestick that's a little different from the other, some of our pine stems, this little vintage stool, which by vintage I mean my dad made it when he was younger, and I'm adding these little snowman plates. They're so cute and they're very vintage looking, and then I took one out and propped it on that candle, and I think this looks so pretty. I like how it's very minimal, but there's just that little pop of red in there that lets you know that this is Christmas decor, and that little snowman is so adorable. I just love how all this decor rounds out our kitchen and makes it look very festive and full for the holiday. And lastly, in the kitchen, this is something super simple that I do every single year is I switch out the hand towels. I got these hand towels from Kohl's last year, I believe, and I just love the way these look. I love the whimsical trees on the green one, and then the plaid one is just a really nice staple. I like to style them in twos just because I feel like that looks more put together, more intentional, but I just love the way these look. Also love the little tassels that are on this Christmas tree one and all the texture on it. I really love this one. And I also learned that this plaid one is reversible. It's actually striped, kind of like a candy cane on the back. So I love the way that these look together and how they sort of give the room a little bit of color. Now on to what we call our big bathroom. In reality, this is just the bathroom of the two that is the biggest, so that's what we call it, but it's a pretty blank slate right now. I cleared everything out. We're just gonna take some miscellaneous decor and fill it up. So I'm starting with this cute little wreath print in a gold frame, yet another candlestick because apparently I have a lot of those, and then this candle that I found at the bottom of the bin just adds a nice pop of red. Now I'm adding in some fresh hand towels. I did realize that we actually don't have hooks for our towels like a lot of people do, so maybe one day we will add those to this bathroom to make it a little bit more practical. Now over in the shower area, this shelf is green right now. I have been meaning for the longest time to paint it white because I think it just sort of sticks out a little bit more than it should, but for now I'm just adding in some neutral pieces. I added in this little newspaper tree, a little thing of flowers, and just some lotions and things like that, but that is basically all we did in here. I wanted to keep it really simple, and like I said, we were just using some leftover decor, and it just adds a little festive touch that this bathroom needed. Now on to our little bathroom. I actually redid this here on YouTube, I think a year and a half ago, and it looks so much better than it used to. If you see that before and after footage, it's just so much brighter and lighter in here, and I just love the overall feel. So the main color scheme in this bathroom is obviously green and very just natural earthy colors like khaki and things like that. So I wanted to keep it super neutral. I started by replacing the canvas on the wall with a "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" sign. You guys know I'm not a super big fan of signs, but this one is an exception because I love the vintage feel of it. I'm adding in a cute little block tree from Hobby Lobby, switching out the towel, and that is about it for this space. I love the way this looks though. If you have a really small bathroom or just a really small space, don't be afraid to keep it simple and just put a couple of your favorite pieces of decor in there just by switching out that little canvas and adding a little tree. It just feels nice and wintry in there, nothing crazy. Up next, I want to do something I've never done before, which is add some festive holiday flair to my bedroom. First off, I want to replace my comforter, and I'd also like to thank PureDown for gifting me with the All Seasons White Goose Down comforter. If you've never heard of PureDown, they're all about nature, warmth, and providing amazing quality items. They have things such as comforters, duvets, blankets, and more while incorporating down. Something I learned is that down is actually the undercoating that geese and ducks have to keep them warm. Therefore, down products are a lot more sustainable than other options and are also a natural insulator. I also love that this material is breathable as opposed to other materials. I truly am super happy with the quality of this comforter, and I love the camel trim all the way around that you'll see here. And the best way I can describe the feel when using it is like a slightly weighted blanket. It just sort of adds a little bit of weight and it keeps heat from escaping. It just sort of gives you a little bit of a hug, which I really like. And I just love the detail that it adds to my bed. It makes it feel very luxe, and it makes it just look very hotel-like and very comfortable and cozy. Just makes you want to jump in. So if you're interested in trying out PureDown for yourself, I'll leave a link down below. I highly recommend you give them a try and take a look at their products. And thank you again to PureDown for gifting me with this comforter. I'm super excited to use it for the rest of the season and into next year. And then to dress up the comforter, I'm using a couple pillows that we used in the living room. I love these chunky knit pillows with the red pillow. I'm also adding in a more neutral one and then a little olive green lumbar pillow. And then to the edge of the bed, I'm also going to add a little touch of cozy because I had some blankets. So I layered this little white fuzzy blanket with a white sort of crocheted knitted blanket. And I actually think this was a baby blanket from when I was younger, but I just love the coziness that it adds to this area. The chunky knits, the big pillows, it really just made my bed feel so hotel-like, very luxe, and the comforter definitely topped it all off and gave it that really nice texture. And they just really complement each other really, really well. All of the elements just worked really, really nicely together, and it just made my room feel super festive, and it made me want to hop in and watch a Christmas movie. Last but certainly not least, we are going to be decorating our Christmas tree. Now, first things first, we went out in the bitter cold. We got our real Christmas tree. We get a real Christmas tree every year. We've done this for quite a few years in a row, and we always look for a very tall, skinny tree to fit in our home. I think we have 12 or 13 foot ceilings in our living room, so we like to get something that's skinny and also tall to sort of fill in that space. So we found our tree, we loaded it up when we brought it home, got all of our decorations out, and started getting all of the trimmings on the tree. So this is the star that we put at the top of our tree. I believe I got this from Meijer, which is just our local grocery store in Michigan, and it's really pretty. It's just this sort of burlap star. And then these are the lights that we like to use. I love how vintage they look, and they're very bright white lights, which we also really, really like. So we're going to start by putting those all over the tree, and that's what we're going to do for the first day, and we'll come back in a second and we'll be putting all of the ornaments, and I'll also be showing you guys the garland and picks and things like that. So first we're starting with this ribbon. We just started with a plain old ribbon and we tied some string around the ribbon every 10 to 12 inches. And we did that all along the length of the ribbon. So we're going to start at the top and we're going to start tucking in the ribbon. And basically the little ties act as guides to tuck into the tree. At the top of the tree, you can't really see it. Here we're just trying to get it around the tree and get it started. But as we go around, you guys will see that at the tied areas, you sort of tuck those in and you want to sort of fan out the rest, the part that's sticking out. And I truly love the way that this looks. I like how it adds in just a little pop of color with the holly, but it's also pretty neutral because the base is burlap and there's a little red trim on it as well. But I will say this is a pretty time-consuming process. We were talking about how we maybe want to do something a little different next year, but for now I love the way that it adds in that sort of vintage look, very subtle but very pretty, and is going to complement the rest of our ornaments and picks as well. So we're going to start with some of the fillers that we like to put in the tree. We like to put in these pine cones every year. These are real, and we also have a couple different sizes. And then something different I wanted to put in the tree are these bowl fillers that I got from Hobby Lobby. We've never done that before, and I think it's going to look really, really pretty in the tree. So we like to just place them randomly and spread them out all throughout the tree. This just gives the tree an even more woodsy, natural vibe that I really love, and it's really easy because you can just get them from your backyard and layer them in together. Now these are a little bit tricky to put in the tree, especially the little bowl fillers, but I feel like they look so pretty. I thought the bowl filler added a nice pop of white and just contrasted with the pine cones really, really nicely. So here's what we have so far, but these are the first ornaments we are going to put on the tree. I got these from Hobby Lobby last year and we only have 12 of them, but honestly I wish I could cover our tree in them. They are shatterproof, which I love, and they have this cute little burlap string on them. They're red and white striped, and I just love the subtlety of them. I love the texture. It almost looks like there's a bunch of ribbons wrapped around it, and I just love the color and the style of these. They're so pretty, and I would highly recommend them if you like that subtle pop of color, but you still like to add a little bit of softness. Next up, we realized we forgot to put our picks in the tree, so that's what we're going to be doing next. We have a couple different kinds. I have these really cheap ones from Hobby Lobby that are snow covered, and then I have these golden ones that we got from a Christmas local store here in Michigan. So I believe we have 5 or 7 of these. If you guys didn't notice, I like a really natural look. These are the only like glitzy, glam, sort of sparkly things I like to put in the tree. They really reflect off of the lights really prettily. I don't know if that's a word, but I like to tuck them in randomly and spread them evenly throughout the tree. I like to put them next to ornaments. Sometimes I like to layer the picks together, and it just makes it look a lot fuller, especially with this tree. You can't really tell on camera, but there are quite a few holes and gaps in this tree that we had to strategically work with to make look full. So now we're adding on the rest of our ornaments. This is just a random selection of ornaments. A lot of them are very bright and white, very natural, organic. Our orbs are going to be pretty classic. We have some gold ones that have some really pretty texture on them. We also have some red ones. We have some bells. We also have a couple other ornaments that we add in there, as well as these matte red ones that are so pretty. But we're basically just gonna fill up the tree. I personally love a very full looking tree, so we put all of these ornaments all over the place. And if you do see some DIY ornaments, I will link that down below. I made a bunch last year and they just added a bunch of character, and I love how all of these ornaments work together. They look very classic, very vintage, and there's just that little pop of red, so it complements the rest of the room. Mostly neutral, but with that pop of burgundy. This is how it looks, and I meant to mention this earlier, but we also did rearrange our living room a little bit. This is where our tree ended up, and it's so pretty to look at. When it's lit up, it's just so stunning. There's nothing like a Christmas tree to finish off a Christmas living room, and I could not be more obsessed with how cozy this little space turned out for the holidays. Alright you guys, that is the end of part 2 of this Decorate With Me for Christmas. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Got some inspiration for the holidays, for your own spaces, to mix it up a little bit for the upcoming holiday, and it was just really fun to put together for you guys. I loved putting together my bedroom and the tiered tray. I think those were my favorite parts, and I think they turned out so cute, and my bedroom is so cozy now. It is just so perfect for the season. And like I said, if you want to shop PureDown, I have the link to their website down below. Highly recommend. I think that this comforter is so luxe and beautiful feeling, and I just love it. So if you're looking for a new comforter for yourself or for someone else to gift to them for Christmas, make sure that you check that out and check out all of their other products. But I believe that's it for today's video. Make sure you subscribe if you liked it. Check out some of my other Christmas content that I'll have linked in the description box for you, and check out part 1 if you haven't, because that has so much inspiration for a living room and things like that. So yeah, that is everything. I hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday season so far, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye you guys.